The public procurement process, a big term, a big function, but it essentially boils down to this.
It is the acquisition of goods, services, and works using public funds, and it can be executed by or on behalf of the government of Jamaica. And it involves the complete process from the planning of a procurement activity right through to its final payment.
That can mean almost anything: the purchase of medical equipment, undertaking infrastructure projects, or even the purchase of insurance and consultancy services. In the last fiscal year, thousands of government contracts were issued, valuing approximately $60 billion. That's a lot of money. So through the Public Sector Modernization Program, government is ensuring that it gets quality goods and services at a reasonable cost.
We're talking about approximately 30% of GDP. And so we have to ensure that we tighten up those loopholes and we put proper systems in place to ensure that we have proper and prudent management of our funds.
To make that happen, Parliament passed the Public Procurement Act in July 2015, and weeks later, Jamaica's first electronic procurement system was launched to improve efficiency in the procurement and award of government contracts. Prior to that, individuals had to buy hard copies of bidding documents for a contract.
Now, you can download the document from the comfort of your home. There is no need for you to go to a procuring entity to buy a document. You download it, you'll see what the requirements are. There is no rush in high traffic to deposit a tender in a tender box. Now it is uploaded electronically.
The pilot project for the electronic procurement system ran from July to December 2015. During that time, there were 10 transactions from 3 of the entities that participated in the pilot: eGov Jamaica Limited, the National Health Fund, and the Ministry of Finance. The feedback so far has been good. The e-procurement system has been reducing bureaucracy as suppliers have been quickly querying details of procurement opportunities posted via the platform.
Usually we would see at least a week pass before a written letter is submitted seeking clarification. So we are seeing more efficiencies coming through this electronic system.
And with this improved efficiency,
we also expect to see a reduction in the cost of conducting procurement by at least 2%. So we are really looking forward to see how those savings can be put into other areas for national development.
Those savings should be evident in the first 2 or 3 years of operating the system. In the 2016-2017 fiscal year, the e-procurement system will be extended to about 40 of the largest government agencies, representing about 80% of the annual procurement spend. For example, the National Works Agency, the Urban Development Corporation, the Ministry of Education, and the National Housing Trust. The Public Procurement Act will strengthen the regulatory regime. Under the Act, the National Contracts Commission will be separated from the Office of the Contractor General and will become the Public Procurement Commission. The Procurement and Asset Policy Unit in the Ministry of Finance will meanwhile become the Office of Public Procurement Policy, and the appeals function of the Procurement Review Board will be expanded.
To now look at the procurement proceedings, they will also have some authority in how they can adjudicate on matters relating to public procurement.
Participants in the public procurement process, such as public sector workers and the suppliers of goods and services, will be subject to greater scrutiny under the Public Procurement Act.
We're also ensuring that heads of entities are held accountable for their procurement budget. They are to be supported by specialist procurement units. And so this means that there's also a responsibility of the head of entity to make sure that their staff is appropriately trained and qualified to undertake that procurement function.
So far, about 400 procurement practitioners have been trained and certified across the public sector. The aim? To ensure that stakeholders understand the system and to improve transparency and accountability.
You may have a small procurement budget, but if you manage that well, your organization could buy another computer. You could, instead of buying 2 chairs, you could actually refurbish your lunchroom. we say that what you manage, it has an impact, it has a ripple effect throughout the entire government system.
Public entities will also be required to publish their award notices, and at the end of the fiscal year, they have to reconcile their books to ensure purchases are aligned to what was budgeted. So the government is tightening the procurement system, strengthening accountability, all in a bid to ensuring value for every dollar spent from the public purse.